How's it going, everybody? Josh Rosales here, and welcome to the Break Thru podcast. I'm extremely honored to have Courtney with us today, and it's been a little bit, Courtney, that hit or miss, but we finally have connected on the podcast, and I'm super excited that you're here. For those of you that are watching and listening, Courtney is a mom. Courtney is a resident from Knoxville, personal trainer, sponsored athlete with TNPRE. Is that right?
Yes.
And then competitive bodybuilder in the wellness division. So I know we got a short period of time. We're going to jump into this. Welcome, first of all, to the podcast. Super excited to have you on. It's definitely going to be worth it. And so welcome, Courtney.
Thank you. I'm so excited. We finally got to nail down a time that works for both of us. It's so exciting.
Yeah. No,
busy
definitely.
people.
You know what it is? It's just busyness. It's crazy because people tell me all the time, "Oh, I'm so busy," or "I didn't get around to doing what I wanted to do." It's just time, right? I didn't have enough time, and I think to myself, there's things that I say I need to do, but I don't do them. And it's not really because it's a lack of time. I think it's a lack of priorities, because I feel that if it's really important to you, you'll make the time to do it. And so if it's not uh, a priority to you, then you just don't do it. Is that what you see?
Yeah, I think it also goes back to a belief system as well. Like when you're really passionate about something and you're good at something, that's your first step you want to take. Like you'll go ahead and do that. But it's the things that like require more effort or more action or more thought or more planning. Like that, I think that stops people sometimes because they're like, well, what's the point? It's like they see the journey so far ahead that they can't see, like, it's just literally like step by step. Everybody has brick by brick to lay, and I think it gets overwhelming. So I think it is not prioritizing, but it's also a big belief system. Like a lot of my clients it's like before we even start with like their personal training aspect, it's like, why are you here? What is your why? What has stopped you from the previously before? Because it's always a mental game, firsthand.
So for your clients, when you first meet them, is it just straight, we're going to make you a bodybuilder? Maybe some people aren't like, maybe they're just, weight loss, so whatever their why is. But it's, how hard is it to get them to take that first step? Or, first step, most of all, is like all mental, right?
Mm-hmm. It's all mental. And like, I think to break those barriers, like when I meet somebody, ask them like, why are looking for a change in their life? Like it has to go deeper than just like vanity. It has to go deeper than just wanting to look better in your clothes. Like it has to go back to like, where like you not feeling like yourself again, or, there's like, I don't know, you've had some mental issues or whatever the thing is. Like there has to be a mental break somewhere in there. Your why has to be big enough to where on days when you don't want to go, or days you don't want to show up, or it's hard or whatever, like it's non-negotiable for you. So I think that once you find out your why, whether it's like, in your entrepreneurship, for with like your health and fitness and all of that, it has to be a big enough why to get you out of bed on the days when you absolutely do not want to do it. And once you figure that
I
out, the rest is easy. It's just a step by step, day by day, follow the plan,
Yeah, no, exactly. So like we were talking before the podcast,
Yeah.
I guess people around you, is it really hard for you to hear people with excuses with everything that you've done and accomplished?
I think I kind of give them a little bit of grace as well, because I was that person. I always was full of excuses as to why it was never my fault, as to why I wasn't where I wanted to be at or whatever. I think that it just comes down to you make time for things you want that are important to you. And I feel like for me, like my biggest priority, I think like for me and my health journey, fitness journey has been like a mental, it's like mental, like helped me so much mentally, I guess, throughout my journey. And it's transpired in everything. It makes me a better mom, a better friend, a better coach, a better personal trainer, all of that. So I think it comes down to, for me, I see the bigger picture in it. And yeah, so that sometimes when people don't have, like, when they have those excuses, like, oh, I don't have this much time, like, you absolutely do. Like, shave out, 10 minutes of your Netflix time twice a day, and you're going to have time to do something like that. So I think it definitely
Mhm.
does. I have grace for it, but I have to be like a firm firm person when it comes to like my clients, especially. Like they can only give me so many excuses until I'm like, that's not happening. You know, I give them the mom talk.
So how do you hold them accountable?
Well, I think for one, like I make them they have they have to give me their plans. Like we work out, let's say like we do 2 days a week, but they have to send me all of their plans that they do throughout the week, or you know, something that a big thing that they've had throughout the week, like a win for them or something they struggle with. I just want to know, I want some kind of feedback throughout the week, knowing that they have actually put forth effort into that. Because at the end of the day, I can't want something more than you want it for yourself. Like you know, obviously I would love all my clients to just be in the gym 5 days a week and eat where they want to eat or eat right and follow the plan. And just because I know I can see the end of their journey, like how excited they would be and how proud of themselves they would be, but I cannot want it more than them. So I think that's a big thing for me. It's just like they have to have skin in the game. You have to have skin in the game in order to actually put the effort in.
So who was Courtney before the health journey, before the bodybuilder? Like who was Courtney back then?
Oh my gosh. So I was married. My daughter's actually 7 now. So I was married to him. We lived in Florida. I worked at like AT&T. You know, I went to the gym every now and then, but it just was not important to me. It was not a priority. It was just something that we did for fun. And then I went through a divorce. And that was like, I went through this really bad depression. And for me, I'm a very like, I'm very like private when it comes to like personal and emotional things with me. So like I was going through this really deep depression and nobody knew about it. I was just kind of faking it. I moved back in with my parents for a little bit and it was just really stressful. I just was not happy at all. And I just was like, I gotta go to the gym. I just started going to the gym like little by little by little. Um, you know, I went to school. I never knew what I wanted to do. I was like always up in the air. Like I feel like I was in the service industries, like restaurant managers. I worked at AT&T for like in sales. And I feel like I was always good at those jobs, but it was never something I actually loved to do. And I read this quote in a book and it was like, it said, your passion is something that comes easy to you and harder for others. Like, what do they come to you for advice for? What do people always ask you for? You know, whether it's unsolicited or whatever, you know, what do they always ask you for questions? And ever since it was like the gym, I just loved helping my friends out. I loved helping people in the gym. I love like being able to show my journey because I feel like it's real people. Like it's real. I was this point now and here I am. And I never dreamed that I would have like I've never dreamed I'd have this kind of life right now. You know, it's very cool.
That is awesome. So what was so was it the quote that was the switch that flipped in your life to really go at this aggressively and make this a, hey, this is who I am, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what my profession is gonna be. Like what was that the quote that flipped the switch for you?
I think that quote was just me trying to find myself as a new single woman and a single mother. But really, I think what really I got to shout out Hans from Tennessee Pre. He's my athlete sponsorship because before I was anybody, I'm not anybody now, but before I was ever known on Instagram or in the bodybuilding community, period. Hans came, he like reached out to me on Instagram, was like, hey, I see you work out a lot. Like, I'd love to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And we met, and then he asked me to be part of Tennessee Pre. And then like a month later, he asked me to be a sponsored athlete. So I had never been to a bodybuilding show ever. I didn't even know anything about it. I was very green. I was so new into fitness and I was just starting to get, you know, a little bit of traction just like with Instagram and stuff like that. And then he kind of just like took a risk on me, I guess, you know, and really put all of his eggs in my basket and helped me out so much. And that kind of gave me a platform. So I really have to I love the people that like they can see like your
Potential.
passion for something. Yes, like I think
Yeah.
that's so important. I love people like that, and I'll never forget that moment. Like he really helped me out. So shout out Hans.
Huh. You know, Grant Cardone says something. He was asked, how does he define success? And he said, success to him is the difference between your reality and your potential. And, you know, whenever I'm talking to a group or, you know, when I was in the banking industry, I was a manager, had employees, I'm always talking to people about working the gap, right? It's like if every day, if I can bring the gap closer between my potential and my reality,
Yeah.
then that's success for me, like my potential. And we got to understand, like, we got to know, hey, we got potential. What is the potential and where we're at? Of course, you know, you're not where you want to be. I'm not where I want to be. Nobody's really where they want to be. It's always the potential is there because you can do more. So it's every day. At the end of the day, it's like, did I move the needle
Yeah.
closer to my potential? And what did I do to move the needle closer to my potential? And then today, I want to be better than I was yesterday. And then
Mhm.
tomorrow, I gotta be better than I was today.
Yeah.
And so it's a constant, practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes you better. So
Yeah.
every day, practice, 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 practice.
I think that's the biggest thing is like people think that you are they see these very successful people and they think it automatically just happened for them. Like, no, it's the grind every single day.
Yeah,
It's like the want to do something every single day and be better. And you can't, and I think that it has to be in you, burning inside of you. Like you can't have other people like having to push you to do things. Like if you really want to do something, you have to make it happen for yourself. And whether people are watching your journey or not watching your journey, I feel like everybody has their passion, their success story. It's just like kind of how do you want it written? Do you want to be known as like the person that hustled and look at their grind now and like, yeah, he was in banking now, but look at this podcast, it's blowing up and he's like, I think that's amazing. I love when people
yeah.
are living their true authentic self. Like I think like I am not on this earth to just sit back and do a job that I'm mediocre like and that be around people that I kind of want to be around. Like I think it's all about like living full potential all the time.
So what is a sponsored athlete?
So I get free products, free swag. I get to work a lot of the booths with him. So I'll go to different shows and I'll show up and I'll take like pictures with the athlete or with all the competitors or whoever wants to take pictures. And then he just takes care of me like as far as like some of my expenses for shows, which is huge. Bodybuilding is a very, very expensive hobby. You don't make
Yeah,
money until you're pro level, and sometimes pro level you don't even make money. It just depends on if you win
yeah.
shows and all that. So sponsorships are honestly like I have a lot of great sponsors that have helped me out where my shows like it's pretty much taken care of, and that's such a blessing. So like I could not be more thankful for that.
It's all because of your hard work though. And then somebody saw that. I mean, social media I think is very important in that aspect, right?
Yeah, it's wild. I still can't believe that I even like I'm able to compete in bodybuilding. I never dreamed I'd have like this kind of body and have like I've always wanted to be that girl that was like, oh my God, like she is such like she's so awesome. Like she hustles, like look at her. I wanted to be that girl in the gym, the one we all know them, the ones that are like
Yeah.
everybody's looking at her. I've always wanted to be that girl. And not
And
just
here
for
you
looks wise,
are.
but just because like a hustle. Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's weird. I have a long way to go in this industry, and I hope to God I can turn it to pro one day. But it's been a
So
really
do you
cool journey.
do you find that people recognize you around
Yeah,
town?
yeah, it's cool. And honestly, I think it's just more because of Tennessee Pre. I've been with them since the start of 2020 in March. So that like gave me a large platform. And then yeah, like I do a lot. I on social media. I'm always active on social media. So and I love
Yeah.
networking. I love meeting people. Like I think I love hearing their stories and like you never know who you're going to meet and how they're going to connect down the road. So I think it's a really awesome thing. So I love it.
That is awesome. So when people see you, what are some of the questions they ask? Or they just come up to you or they're like, "Oh, that's Courtney."
Oh
Do you
my
feel
God.
like a
First off,
celebrity?
no, first off, I am not a celebrity. I'm not famous at all. I just talk a lot and I really, really love people. I love meeting other people, especially like that are coming up in the bodybuilding world or they're still trying to figure out what they want to do in the fitness industry. But yeah, I get a lot of questions all the time, like, how long have you been doing this? Like, what do you eat right now? What is your plans? What is your next show? Like, how are you doing post show? All that kind of thing. So it's really cool. Because I was one of those people, I had no idea about bodybuilding and what all it went into it, like prep and post show and all of these things. And like, I just never knew anything. So I want to be a ball of information for people that come into it because it's like I was literally like blind. So clueless on what to do. So I think it's really cool.
So
And I want to be
so what
that
would
to
you
the people.
so what would you say is the first step for someone that as you said, blind to what's the first step to getting healthy?
You have to find accountability. One, you have to get your why. Find your why. Why do you want to do this? What is it? Is it big enough reason to keep you up? and get you in the gym every day. And then second, you need to you need to find accountability immediately, and don't wait on that. Like, people always say, oh, I'll do it on my own. But then you're in the gym a week and a half and you feel lost. You feel like everybody's staring at you, and then you quit because it's like an uncomfortable feeling. So I think always you need to find a personal trainer, an online coach, or, a accountability friend, somebody like that just has that you have to say, I'm showing up at this time and I'm going to be there. Like, I think that is the most important, especially when you're first starting out, because it takes a lot of, like, it's a mental game to change your routine from just going straight home. Now you got to go to the gym. Now you got to prepare your food beforehand. Like, there's so many things that go into it. So I definitely think that finding an accountability partner, whether it's a friend or a coach, is probably the most important thing.
What would you say are maybe one or two things that somebody that has no idea about the fitness industry or just getting fit, when they're looking for a coach, what's one or two things that they should look for when getting somebody that is actually going to really help them with this journey?
Well, one, I look for, you need to make sure, one, they're certified. Obviously they have their credentials for that. And then two, like, you want to find someone that you want to look like. Like, I've always said, I would not like, I would work with somebody that their physique like looked intriguing to me. Like, I would want to obtain that, because that person that has that body, they know how to build that body. It's like, you would never go
Hmm.
to somebody that's broke asking for financial advice. So why would you go to a trainer
That's
that's not
true.
in shape? Like, you always want to find
Yeah.
someone that is at that level where you would love to be, and that also that they know they're knowledgeable, they know what they're doing, because that means they not only like can talk the talk, but they know how to apply it to their life and stick to that routine, and it shows grit and it shows determination and discipline. So those things, whether you don't know what you're doing, those will transfer to you. Like, I know my clients, like, they probably can't stand me, but they also, like, they'll tell me they'll be in the grocery store, they can hear my voice in their head, like, telling
No.
them certain things, and I think that's
Yeah.
important. Like, you want to have, like, you need to have that kind of person in your corner, because it's not coming from a bad place. It's like, I want to help them, and I want them to feel like I feel, and be as proud
Hmm.
as I am. So it's really cool.
Exactly. Well, Courtney, I know you're in Knoxville, but for
Yes.
those that are watching the YouTube channel and also listening to the podcast, and then maybe
Yeah.
they want to reach out to you as a resource, how can they reach out to you?
All right. So for Instagram, it's at the Courtney Byas, and email, it's courtneybyasfit@gmail.com. That's for anything like personal training inquiries at all, but mostly my Instagram. I'm there all the time. I am taking a little Instagram hiatus for like a couple months, just because I need to focus on some work
Why?
things. Because I
Okay.
don't, I need to like do tunnel vision for a little bit. I'm about to go into
Yeah.
prep for nationals. And I
Okay.
just, so I think for me, like, I never was able to, because my business is a big part of Instagram and I'm always on social media.
Mhm.
But mentally, I just need to take a step back, and I want to like go, 10
That
toes
is
down
cool.
in what I'm doing. Yeah. So I'm excited.
Yeah,
But that
that
Instagram,
is
I'll check
cool.
it in a couple months, and that's where I found me.
Sounds great. Well, for those of you that are watching and listening,
Yeah.
we're talking with Courtney. Courtney is a personal trainer, a sponsored athlete with TN Pre, also a competitive bodybuilder in the wellness division. Courtney, I want to say thank you so much for coming on. Really enjoyed our conversation,
Hey,
and you added so much value to it. So thank you.
hey, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. And I love what you're doing.
Sounds great. You have a wonderful evening.
You too. Bye.